You've got me in here now for a bit, by the way, which is all right, isn't it? And then we've got one speaker to go. Because often my brief is, you know, client book. Brendan, just stand up. This is, in case you don't know, this is Brendan, Brendan Barnes, the founder of Speakers for Business. So if you want to ask him any questions about not just the speakers here, but any other speakers, he's your man. Or you can go to his website or whatever, and we're going to be around, can speak to us. But often the brief that will come via Brendan to us speakers is, you've got that slot, you know, after lunch, which is called what? Graveyard slot. And they go, can you just motivate them? Right. We just want you to motivate them. Wake them up, right? I often get that. One time I had a slot after lunch, and Brendan had booked it, and it was at a hotel in York. I don't know if you've been to York. It doesn't matter. There's a big hotel near the train station there, right? And so I thought, well, I'll get there for first coffee break in the morning. I would have got there early if I could, because you want to be there, don't you? You want to just... All the speakers in this room are professionals. They will be there for as long as they can be. Because we want to know what other people have said and pick up on it and refer back to messages and make links and all that, you know? You want that, don't you, from a speaker? You don't just want them to turn up, I think. That's why it's called Speakers for Business, right? Because it's like a relevant message. So I thought, I'll get there early, hear what's going on. So it's a coffee break. And it was a computer company who did like software, things like accountancy-type softwares. Right exciting. And they had those themes, you know, there was those really original themes. I think this theme was, Together We Achieve More. Because the conference was actually for their customers, you know, like the end users. So some of their people were going to be there, but they said fundamentally there's going to be 400 people who were their customers, right? So imagine you me, I turn up at this hotel in York, right, and I get there at the first coffee break, and all the customers, all the delegates are having coffee, and I'm looking for, like, the MD of this company, right, and they said, oh, he's still in the conference room. So I went in, and there's this group of guys in the corner. Now, you know when you turn up somewhere and you know something terrible has happened, but you're not quite sure what it is? Well, I just instantly, oh, something's happened. You know, like somebody must have died or something. So I thought, we're obviously having this private conversation, so better not, like, you know, interrupt. So I held back for a while, but I thought, well, look, coffee break, you know, I'm going to have to... So I kind of had to go up and, like, stick my head in and go, excuse me. And they went, what? Private company? I know. I said, just thought I'd introduce myself. I'm your guest speaker, Steve McDermott, you know, I'm here for the conference. And this guy just went, shit, we forgot about you. Can you wait outside? Okay, so go outside. About 5 minutes later, this guy comes out like this. Oh, I'm really sorry about that, Steve. Look, I'll just cut straight to the point. There's another way of saying this. We've just found out we've gone bust. and I've just been on the phone to the receiver, right? It's really bad news. So, and the thing is, we've got 400 customers in there, and they don't know yet. So, to be frank, I don't know if we'll want, like, the funny motivational speaker after lunch, you know what I mean? So can you come back at, and I'm meant to be speaking at 2 o'clock, right? They said, can you come back at 5 to 2 and we'll let you know? So I said, fair enough. So I said, before I go though, can I speak to techie guys? Because you want to be mates with them, don't you? And kind of just do like a sound check and stuff. And oh yeah. So I go, and where are they? They're at Backett Room like this lot, right? So I go to Backett Room. Now if you think this MD was miserable, you should have seen techies. There's one guy like this. And I went, hello, are you like the sound guy? Are you? He said, yeah. Have you heard what's happened? I went, I have. We've gone bust. I said, I know. He said, we're packing up, we're going home. I said, what? He said, I'm a one-man band, this is a 14 grand job. Everybody else is subcontracted, you know, I still have to pay them, but I haven't been paid by a client yet. I'm really hacked off on my phone. And I thought, I can't have that, right? One of my things is like helping people with thinking. So I said, no, I mean, you can't have anywhere to go, can you, because you booked for this? Well, not really. I said, look, I've just been speaking to MD, and he said he's expecting another call from receiver. And, you know, it might be good news. They might turn up on the white charger. And they'll know that you did them a big favour. Worst case scenario, they go belly up. But he's still going to do them a favour. Stay. And he's going, well, all right. While we're just having the end of this conversation, the hotel manager goes past, who I knew because I'd done a couple of other engagements there. She went, oh, hello, Steve. Are you speaking at this computer conference then? I went, yeah. She said, have you heard what's happened? I said, I have. She said, we're not serving them lunch. They haven't paid yet. We're not serving them lunch. I said, have you made lunch? She said, yeah. Well, why wouldn't you serve them? Because you did it and did it. And she went, well, we might. And then that's the first chance when I had to go ring him. Brendan, in the corridor. Brendan, what is it, Steve? I'm busy. This is the first. You haven't heard this before. What? Get on with it. I'm busy. I've just turned up this conference. What, that one in York? Yeah. And company's gone bust, and I just heard him drop phone. And he ran across office. Because I know in the corner he's got another computer. He just went to check. And he came back, he went, it's okay, they've paid. We like to get paid advance, don't we? It's fair news, isn't it, you know? Because if we turn up, we've already spoken, don't get the money, right? Now, I like to think, I would, even if we hadn't been paid, I still would have gone back at 5 to 2. Do you know what I mean? I like to think that. So imagine you're me. Don't know if I'm speaking. Get back at 5 to 2. And we're meant to start at 2. Now, this MD's meant to be introducing me. I've written him a nice little introduction. Can you say a few words? Adjusted it slightly given the circumstances, right? But can you say this? Fine. And anyway, it gets to 2 o'clock, and I'm side at stage, wide up. 5 past 2. Audience is all in there now. It's full. And you know, if you're told you're going to start at 2 and you don't start at 2, people get a bit dotted inside. It gets to 10 past 2, people are getting a bit, what the hell's going on? 20 past 2, 25 past 2 it gets to. Remember, it's meant to start at 2. MD comes running in from back at room like this. He goes, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Oh, by the way, everywhere, plastered on the wall, it's saying, together we win or whatever. It's like everywhere, right? Big slides. They've not changed any of that, right? So he says, I'm really sorry, but all this time, I've been on the phone to the receiver. And obviously I had to take that call, because you all know what's happened now. And I went, yeah. He said, I'm afraid to say that the news is much bleaker than we first imagined. My guide's at the back of the room. He's just told, I've just come off the phone now. He's told me, you've got to give me your company car keys. You are not allowed to drive on in company cars. John, you're one of the most long-standing, important customers. You've been a customer of ours. How long is it now, John? 25 years. 25 years. You've just invested £400,000 in some new software. You're asking me, is that money safe? I've absolutely no idea. Anyway, we asked you, did you want to speak? And he said, might as well. Here he is. So that was good. And I don't know what I said. But the thing is, about what I like to do, and I think the other speakers, is it's about being flexible. If you book a speaker from Speakers for Business, they will be flexible. Because the stuff happen at conferences and things you've organised. The changes occur and things in the marketplace and whatever. And you don't want a speaker just to turn up and go, I'm going to do what I plan to do. Do you? Do you? No, I don't. You want to say, can you just bear in mind this has happened? And adjust your sort of message accordingly. And I think all the speakers you've seen tonight can all do that. Be flexible, you know. Change it. Not everybody can. Some speakers just, and that's fair enough, just have to go, here's my script. So I love doing that. I love hosting conferences because I don't use a teleprompt or whatever. And because I've got a lot of material from my kind of training background, I can make comments and contribute and add to what's going on in the room, which I think is good value, as well as doing a keynote. And just like Richard, I love to tell stories about my family. A lot of the audiences I speak to, quite frankly, don't want to be there. Naming no names, right, but civil servants, right? And sometimes the client will go, Steve, what you need to know is they're all civil servants. They don't want to be there. They certainly don't want to hear you speak, right? All they're interested in is starting on time, finishing on time, and what do we have out for lunch, right? Now, I love audiences like that because what I tend to do there is tell stories and examples about my family and say, I want you to be selfish. You won't be able to use these ideas at work, right? But you can use them at home. And then they use them right. So I thought I'd share with you just one final story. It's like a new one. If you want to get a lot of materials from my book, my best-selling book, second edition, in W.H. Smith at the moment. From Yorkshire, right? Buy it. It's called How to Be a Complete and Utter Failure in Life, Work and Everything. 44 and a half steps to lasting underachievement. If you read that book, I guarantee it'll propel you into the slow lane of total inadequacy, right? So anyway, it'd be good, Richard, wouldn't it, if our kids' ages didn't change? It's just really I'll see if I can get this right. I've got 3. Tommy's, God, what is it? He's 17 next week. And it's scary when they get taller than you. Finley's 14 and Megan's 11. So she's got her ears pierced, by the way. At 7. Ooh. Anyway, when Finley was 11, a few years ago, just after his birthday's in February, so it was after that terrible tsunami. Do you remember that tsunami in Boxing Day? And a bit after that, and he was doing this thing, you know when kids do that loitering thing like that? And do a lot of sighing. They're doing corridors at schools are good at that. And he's doing that. And I know he wants me to go, what's wrong? But I thought, okay, I won't. I'll leave him to stew for a bit. But eventually I go, what is it, Finley? And he goes, my life sucks. I'm nearly 12. I'm really act up about loads of stuff. I said, tell you what, Finley, why don't you go and write down all the things that you act up about, right? So I brought this with me, this letter, right? This is the actual letter that he wrote. I said, go write down all the things that are hacking you off, right? So it's addressed to both me and his mother, which is nice. To Mum and Dad. Number 1, things that are hacking me off. No glasses. Now, what it means by that, it doesn't mean these kind of glasses. It means drinking glasses. Because in our house, there's no clean glasses. And I said to Finley, you know why that is, don't you? Because they're all under your sodding bed. Number 2, no friends that have the same interests. It's interesting, isn't it? Worth finding out, right? Great, can talk about that. Number 3, getting bad presents from relatives. And I questioned Mum. I said, what do you mean by that? I said, because it's my birthday in a week, Dad, and I know what's going to happen. Auntie Susan's going to buy me something for like a 7-year-old, because I only see her once a year. Or I'm going to get 6 of the same book from everybody, and I'm going to have to pretend to smile. And I'm going, well, Finlay, yeah, well, you'd asked me to write it down, right? Number 5, how I am bored all the time. In brackets, can we please underline 3 times, do something at the weekend? I'm feeling like super dad now, aren't I? Right? Number 6, people swearing at me when I walk home from school. Worth investigating. At least I found that out. 7, Tom being irritating. Right? That's his older brother, so no surprises, right? Number 8, Tom calling me fat boy. That's a specific case of irritation, isn't it? Right? Number 9, no one's showing any interest in my magic. Finley's really into magic tricks. You know when you get home from work and he goes, I've set it up in here, Dad, come on. And you think, oh, an hour and a half. No one paying attention at tea time when I'm speaking. We have this tradition in our house, I don't know if you, quality time. And I thought, I'm sure I was paying attention. No, you didn't pay to be. He's running out of stuff now. Last thing on here, how there are no pens in the house. Note, I'm writing this in pencil. P.S. These are only a quarter of my problems. Which is quite interesting, isn't it? I said, that's great, that, Finlay. Now go and write a list of stuff you can be grateful for. Stuff that you can be happy about. Go on, go do that. He went, OK, so we went off. It's a much shorter list. But at least it's in pen, so he'd found a pen, hadn't he? Things to be grateful for. A loving family. A decent house and possessions. Not being dead in the tsunami. Being lucky to live in peace. And I said to him, so Finlay, did that help? You know, just changing your focus and thinking about what you can be grateful about rather than what you're unhappy about. Did that help? And he went, do you know, and just getting out of your head. And he said, do you know, Dad, that's one of the best things I've ever done. He didn't say that. He's 11. He went, that was a complete waste of time. Why did you make me do that? I've just waited 10 minutes of my life. The thing is, though, you're not 11, are you? So just stepping back from that story, those are the stories that I would use, you know, if you've got a negative audience, tell a story like that and you want to get them, so if one of your outcomes is to get them to change their focus,